Hello, this is George Hutton, and you are listening to the Mind Persuasion Podcast. Today we continue our study of money brain. For more information, please visit mindpersuasion.com/money-brain. In today's podcast, we'll be talking about another external money enemy. This one is called social proof. Every hierarchy runs on two types of social glue. Authority is when the boss says go, we go. But suppose you aren't around the boss. This is when the second type of social instinct kicks in, and that is social proof. We humans love doing what everybody else is doing. Most of us feel very uncomfortable doing things alone or going first. As much as we love the idea that we are superhero independent thinkers, beholden to no one, we don't like the idea of going first. We want to see others go first just to make sure it's safe. But we also must face the harsh reality of money making. If we only do what is safe, if we only do what others do first, it's going to be very hard to make more than a regular wage. The more money you want to make or earn or have, the more you'll have to be able to do something that few other people do. This means trying something first. This may mean spending plenty of time studying when all of your friends are out having the time of their lives. But this is only one aspect. But just to make sure we know the strength of social proof, let's do another mental experiment and then look at some experimental data. Recall that humans lived in small groups, medium groups, and sometimes large groups going back hundreds of thousands of years. Let's imagine two groups of a couple hundred people, both have strong authority figures who can make good decisions and do so with confidence. But we'll imagine that only one group has a strong social proof instinct. The first group, without the social proof instinct, would be much less efficient. Every time the boss made a decision, he'd have to go around and explain it to everybody. On the other hand, the group with an equally strong social proof instinct, the boss would be much more efficient. He'd make the decision to go east and everybody would go east. The people in the back of the pack would just follow those in front of them. Over the slow filter of time, groups with both social proof and authority instincts would be much more efficient than those without. Experimental data. 9 out of 10 dentists prefer brand X. Over 1 billion cheeseburgers sold. Join thousands of other happy customers and buy brand Z. We don't have to look far to see social proof as a favorite of advertisers. But some clever social scientists have done some interesting experiments. In one example, they tested out a bunch of different messages to leave in hotel bathrooms to encourage guests to reuse their towels. They wanted to save water. The one that worked best, measuring by the percentage of guests who actually reused their towels, was the one that leveraged social proof. Nothing else came close. Messages talking about the imminent destruction of the earth, the high cost of water, or anything else. One simple message did the trick. The message implied that most guests reuse towels to conserve water. In another interesting study, one government agency broke the golden rule of don't try this at home. They wanted to keep people from stealing petrified wood from a petrified forest. They thought a message like this would work. Did you know that 15% of people steal wood from the petrified forest? The government geniuses thought that implying that a high level of theft would somehow encourage people to stop stealing, but it did the opposite. Apparently, people were thinking about taking home a souvenir, but perhaps worried about stealing. Then they saw the sign and thought, hey, if all those people are stealing, I'm going to steal too. After they posted the above message, theft of petrified wood increased. Once they hired experts who immediately saw the problem reversed. The change? 75% of visitors value nature and refrain from stealing. This takes those people who are on the fence and were motivated to steal by the other message and convince them not to. Social proof and money. You've likely heard the metaphor of the crabs in the box. One crab bravely decides to escape and the rest of the crabs pull him down. This is one way social proof will keep you from getting rich. Once you announce your plans to turn your efforts toward making more money, it may scare some people. Everybody wants more money, but most people are too terrified to try. They are too terrified because if they try and fail, this means they'll always be broke. To most, being poor and holding on to some fantasy about one day discovering the secrets to riches is better than trying and potentially failing. So when you start making moves toward making more money, this will terrify them. This presents an even worse possibility. If you succeed and start to actually make more money, what do? If they try and fail, they'll always be broke and you'll leave them. If you keep making more money and they don't try, you'll leave them. This is rarely a conscious decision on their part, but a very common reaction from friends, family, or loved ones is to sabotage the one who is attempting to make more money. This sabotage is just like the crabs. Maybe they want to ride on their friend's back. Maybe they don't want him to leave, so they pull him down. Either way, it's hard enough to climb out of the box on your own, let alone with all your buddies hanging on. General social proof advice. This may be the most difficult part of earning more money. If you had to choose your friends or consistently making more money, which would you choose? This is what it often feels like, but it's much subtler. Consider instead of slowly shifting not only your social group, but having different reasons for having a social group. Most of us end up with friends simply by an organic process. We go through life, make money however we can, and end up with the friends that we do, and call it good. But just like the food metaphor of reading labels instead of eating what tastes good, consider consciously choosing a social reference group that is more money-focused. And when we say money-focused, we mean not wishing for more money, but of doing things that will increase the likelihood of actually getting more money. As we'll learn more in the next podcast, choosing a social group that is only centered around money on the surface, the idea of getting money but not actual money behaviors, is actually very dangerous. I'm George Hutton. Thank you for listening to the Mind Persuasion Podcast. For more information, please visit mindpersuasion.com/money-brain. I look forward to speaking with you again soon.